Recording. Okay, so we're reading now from Tzavat Arivash, the Testament of the Baal Shem Tov. Anybody who hasn't read it should read it. The main teaching of the Baal Shem Tov, the founder of Hasidus, who want to teach us how to connect to God on a deep level, but on a level that we can on our level, right? So Kabbalah on the layman's level, although all of you, I'm sure you're higher than just layman's, you're like holy souls. So here we go, it's chapter 20. He says like that: embrace the trait of zerizut, which means alacrity or watchfulness or awareness, being watchful, aware. Embrace the trait of alacrity very much. Oh, sorry, zerizut. Alacrity is actually, that's the second step. Awareness is the first step. Second step is zerizut, is when you get passionate, when you get excited, when you are proactive in doing what you need to do. And the opposite of that is basically being lazy or not doing anything. So he says you need to embrace this trait very much. So he's pushing you to be extra aware of the fact that we need to be in an excited mode. If we just, go slowly like that and everything is slow and, I'm dragging my feet, it's each time I see people dragging their feet, it upsets me, Not that I'm upset at them, I'm upset at because it's almost like I'm dragging on life. It's like I don't like to live. So we should, even when I walk, but that's a bit because I'm French. But in France, we walk pretty fast, but I'm a very fast walker. So when I walk somewhere or when I take my car or to go somewhere, I usually go pretty fast. Obviously, I don't encourage going above the speed limit, but just saying that when I go somewhere, okay, I'm going and I get excited. Let's do with speed. Actually, there was a time where I used to run. Wherever I would go to, I would run. Now, sometimes because I'm late, but that when I was working on that, it was not because I was late. It was because, okay, there's no time to waste. I have one day to live. I'm going to speak more about that. I have one day to live, and every second is a gift of life. Every second is my ability to change the world. So I'm going to run to work, run back home to spend time with my family, run to the bathroom because it's a mitzvah to go to the bathroom, run to go learn because it's learning you change the world, run to go daven, and run, right? So we can transform and work on that by walking faster than we usually walk. Unless it's a hike, so I run to go to the hike, but by the hike, I go slow. Because there, I'm not running, I don't need to run. There, the mitzvah is to actually not run and focus and appreciate things. But then once it's over, I'm running to go back home to be with the family, whatever. So that should be a type of excitement that we should create. And it will make yourself transcend the animal instinct of just going normal or slow. You want to transcend your natural movement. It's similar, by the way, when you transcend something physical, if you transcend a normal, behavior of the body, you are entering into a supernatural state. Hashem acts with you with more on the high level, as if you are in a Gan Eden, or because you're transcending yourself, right, by going out of your normal nature. So Hashem also transcends himself, so to speak, and act with you on a level that is beyond nature. Lemala minateva. So the same thing when we eat. When we eat, I say, so that's the opposite. Most people, they make a bracha, hopefully, not too fast. And then they make a bracha and then go straight into the mouth like that quickly. No, really, it should be that on the best level is we take the spoon, the fork, whatever, with the food, and we go slow motion. Some say actually you should wait a few seconds before you're in front of your food and say the bracha, and then after you finish making bracha, you go slow motion to your mouth, because you're saying, I'm not eating like an animal. An animal would just go yum, 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 like that, right? And if we just go natural flow, natural speed, it's like I'm eating like an animal. I'm like, it's just following my nature. But I don't want to eat like an animal. I want to eat like a human being, like someone who is going to understand that he is elevating the food. Like my Rebbe said last week, actually this week, that the Arizal says that someone who says bracha correctly, the proper way, can achieve Ruach HaKodesh. So the idea is, especially when before you eat, you are able to achieve Ruach HaKodesh just by the way you make a bracha and eat. Because if you eat the proper way, it's like you're eating man, and man is above nature. It's a spiritual food. So it's all connected. But the idea, I'm going to go slow motion and control, and I'm transcending my nature. So sometimes it's alacrity, and sometimes it's alacrity reverse, or slow motion. In this case, so let's continue. Now, he says, rise from your sleep with alacrity. He says, when you're going to start to actually do that, when you wake up in the morning, when you rise from your sleep, because you have been renewed and became a different person that is capable to beget, analogous to the attribute of the Holy One, blessed be He, begetting worlds. Right. So because we say every morning in the bracha, mechadesh betuvo bechol yom tamin maaseh b'shis, meaning he renews creation every day, every second. So that means that when I wake up in the morning, I have to understand I am like a new creation, not just in a fantasy way, as an imagine. It's really a new, it's as if all the parts of myself, all the atoms, all the things, as if they had the Big Bang this morning again. So I have to understand, I am not just the myself and my past. I'm myself and my new potential. There's a reason why we wake up. It's a great gift, usually renewed, refreshed, with more strength. And even if we had a fight and we're angry or sad, when we wake up in the morning, there's something like a special force, or that is a little bit better at least than the previous day or night. So we have to take advantage of that. There's a special force coming to me in the morning, as if I'm a newborn, because on the spiritual level, it's literally like that. Whatever you do should be done with alacrity, for you can serve God with everything. So a bit like we said before, running to the bathroom, running to go eat, running to go work, running to shul, running to learn, running to be your friend, to help a friend. All this can be done as a service of God. I'm going to the bathroom to relieve myself and to have a clean body. I'm running to my friends because I need some social bond and to be able to find true friends and communicate and share with them or help them. I'm serving God when I go eat, because I need to take care of my body, and so it's have strength to help my soul connect to God, and elevate the food, the nature and animal world in this world. I'm serve God when I go pray and when I learn, and when I come home to spend time with my wife and kids or husband or grandchildren, because I'm now taking care of my family and trying to create more love and more bond and guide them, support them. So many ways, everything can be done. So we have to understand that you can live your entire day super excited. So one thing that I actually posted not too long ago, again, so certain things I post again because they come again and again, is that really every day is almost, well, every day is your birthday. So happy birthday, everyone, right? Happy birthday to me, happy birthday to all of you. It is interesting that we have 12 hours a day and 12 hours a night, right? According to the Jewish way we calculate, we split the day on 12 and we split the night. And 12 correspond, you know, if you add the 0, 12 is 120. That's the duration of our expected full-length life minimum. So 120 years. So your day of 12, right, in Gematria ends up to be the same number. Your day of 12 is representative of the 120 years of your life. So imagine that the morning when you wake up, that's you, the newborn. Happy birthday, you were born just this morning. And when we come to the night, that's where, night, that's the end of our lives. So we have Mincha. Mincha is the last, that's why I say Mincha is the judgment that you give upon yourself before you go at night, before you go in the night sleep. And actually before we go to sleep, we say Shema again. We know we are supposed to say Shema before we die. And therefore our entire day is really a life. And every day is as if you were reincarnated. And we say every morning, right? That Yuri brings the soul back to the dead body because I was just resurrected or reincarnated every morning, right? So imagine that, I don't know if some of you might know the Groundhog's Day. Basically every day it's a movie, an old movie where the person wakes again every morning, the same day, the same date, the time, and he's supposed to try to bring his day to become right, and he has to come back until he's successful. That's basically what we are into. Every day you have another opportunity to become better than yesterday. So you have the memory of yesterday, but that's like some people, some children who have memory of their previous life, previous reincarnation. We know kids, a lot of kids have that, but very often they forget when they become adults. But there's a lot of proof for that. So the idea is every day is only today that counts. And that's one of the problems when we're worried so much about the previous day or the past, or so worried about the future. There's no past and future. Hashem, Hashem is here, will always be. There's really no time technically. And therefore, if we understand that my day today is a representative of all my life, everything that's going to be in the past and the future is depending on today. So if I get the day today right, then who cares about the past and present? Because I am who I am now, right? Almost similar to Eke Asher Eke. And if you live your life like that, you can have tremendous joy, because as long as today you have done one great thing, right? Whether it's just praying to God, whether it's just learning something about God and feeling closer to God, whether it's just to have helped a friend, or help a customer, or whether you have work and being honest, whether you have taken care of animals or nature or people or yourself in a good way, whatever you have done, if there's one thing that was worth living today, right? One thing that was worth living today, then celebrate your day. It was worth living for me living today. That's why he said at some point, make sure you have at least one mitzvah a day, because then we know if your entire life you did just that one mitzvah, that can save you from your 120 years, that one mitzvah. That's why by Lubavitch, they want to give that mitzvah feeling to every Jew. So this at least that one mitzvah that they have done. So the idea is that we have to strive to look at our day as our life. Okay. And for those who are interested, you can ask me, send me your email, and I will send you, or your WhatsApp, and I will send you, I wrote something called One Day, One Life. And basically I go through not every, but a lot of moments during the day, and from morning till night, and explain how every moment is meaningful and can be used to connect to God. So like that, you're sure that even when you just take a shower or just brush your teeth or just dress up or just, go to work or go on vacation, all those things can be used to serve God. And therefore there's not one day where you don't feel you was worth living that day and disconnected. Okay, sorry, I stayed a little bit long on that one, but it's tremendous concept, because if you live like that, you can be happy. We have a lot of struggles, a lot of pain, a lot of suffering today, a lot of trauma, but if inside of me I say, you know what? All this was worth it for that one moment of today. Even with everything I went through, right? All the problems and the darkness I go through, I managed to have that one positive impact on the world, that one spiritual positive energy that I gave. My whole day was worth it. My whole life was worth it, because I added something to creation. We know that sometimes we create our entire life just for that one thing we needed to do in our life, because sometimes we are reincarnated to do just that one thing. The Arizal says that sometimes a person he doesn't know any Torah. He doesn't know anything. The only thing he will know is, they said to say Shema, or he will only know to put a mezuzah. And the only mitzvah he has done in his life is to put a mezuzah. But that will be enough, because that's the only reason he was reincarnated. So he seems that he's a very simple person, but really he fixed almost everything in previous life, and he only comes back to put that one mezuzah, and then that person disappears, dies, because he finished his mission, right? So we have to understand that that's why we can never judge anyone. We don't know what level people are on, even though they're not very knowledgeable or not very spiritual or religious. Everyone is a different level, has a different life and different things. So you can come now your whole life for that one thing. So if every day you did that one thing that you felt was worth living for, it brought something unique to life, to the world, that maybe that was that one thing that you were created for. So you should be so happy that every day you have brought something. Okay, let's continue. Chapter 21. When donning the talit, that's more for men, it's very short. When donning the talit, one is to see the blue thread. This means that awe comes upon him. So for those who know the talit, right, you have the tzitzit, talit, and then you have that techelet, that blue thread that not everybody wears. It's a matter of debate. And that debate mostly depends on the fact that the Techelet has disappeared. It's basically based from Rabbi Dinovich explains it like that Techelet disappeared around the time where we lost the Beis Hamikdash, and reappeared around the time that we got Israel back. So there were 2,000 years where you have Techelet, so people stopped doing it because they kind of lost the tradition but some explain that the reason it was lost at that time, because once we lost Yerushalayim, when we went into exile, we lost the temple, Techeles, Malchus also was lost. We lost the feeling, the ability to experience God Malchus in the world, which was experience God's kingdom when there was the temple. And now that we got Israel back, the Malchus of the Jewish people, the presence of the Shekhinah, the rebuilding of Israel, is a sign of that the Malchus represented by the Techeles is back, and therefore that's why many say one should put Techeles back. So this means that awe came upon him. So that it reminds us that they represent the presence of the Shekhinah, and therefore we should accept upon ourselves, all Malchut Shamayim, the presence of God. And it helps us obviously remember the commandments. So that's mostly for the men. Okay, to number 22. Whatever you see, remember the Holy One, blessed be He. So that has to do with the Zehirut, being remembering whenever we see something that Hashem is here. That's connected to Shivisi Hashem Lenegdi Tamid, right? I place God in front of me all the time. Thus, so it explains, thus, when seeing an aspect of love, remember the love of God. And with an aspect of fear, remember the fear of God, as this is elaborated in various sources. Even when going to the private, the bathroom, like I was explaining before, have in mind, I am separating the bad from the good, with the good remaining for the divine service. Right? Your body is a machine of recycling machine. It takes this world, keeps the good, and reject the bad, which is a symbol of what man is here to do, especially with the physical body, is that because we know if we eat man, we don't need to go to the bathroom because only good. And we want to go back to a world of Gan Eden where we only eat pure things, that we don't need to go to the bathroom. The fact that we have to go to the bathroom, it means we're still on a level when we need to recycle the world to separate the good and the bad. That's why, by the way, on Shabbos, we can't separate the bad from the good, because on Shabbos, you're in Gan Eden. On Shabbos, you're not doing the job. On Shabbos, you're just experiencing the world of good that you have created for yourself during the week, and you're not supposed to focus on that work. It's a reminder of the state you want to reach, a state where you are completely disconnected from any bad. Even when going to the, okay, so let me say, this is the concept of Yehudim. Okay, so that famous thing in Kabbalah called Yehudim, which we translate usually as unification. Yehudim is when, on the very Kabbalistic level, is the people like Rav Kaduri, Rav, like Ben Ish Chai, the Arizal, the Baal Shem Tov, people on a very high Kabbalistic level, they are able to connect one of the most famous Yichud that Hasidim or Sfardi do before prayer, Shem Yichud Kutsham Richu Shchinte Bitchilu Chemu Chemu Tchilu Yechadash Shem Yud Ke Vav Ke B'Chodash Shem L'Shem Kol Yisrael. So the idea is to unite the spiritual world with the physical world. That means that, and so they usually use two different names to do that. So how does it work? It means that I'm become aware that whatever exists here is like a mirror, a representation of what happened in the spiritual world. So I'm saying, oh, I see love here. Where does this love come from? It comes from the source of love, which is God. Oh, I see. So for example, that's when we say thunder. Thunder was supposed to be a blessing that, the Gemara says that it's supposed to give us awe. So we understand, wow, we know everybody's amazed at lightning and thunder, and it makes us feel certain ways. Like, wow, this is in the physical world an experience of what happens in the spiritual world when we feel Hashem's presence and power. So, and same thing, when I go to the bathroom and I separate the bad from the good, I understand that right there at that moment in the spiritual world, the evil powers, the negative forces get separated from the positive forces, and the world gets cleaned. When we eat, right? When we eat, there's a lot of kavanos for those who want. I wrote something on how to eat properly as a holy human being, meaning how to elevate the food when we eat. And basically, you are creating yichudim by reconnecting the source of that food to its source. And sometimes it's in your neshama, right? Some goes in your neshama, some to feed your body. And when you do that, you connect heaven and earth with your food. So it becomes like man. And similar things. So basically, whatever I see, even when you see a butterfly, you say, why you have a butterfly here? You know why I see a butterfly here? I see a butterfly here because there's something called butterfly in heaven. And that butterfly, there's something to learn from that butterfly. There's something to analyze and to teach me something that corresponds to the source in heaven, in order to understand better how God created the world and get closer to God. So for something like that, we have Perek Shira. What does the butterfly say? What does the frog say? And sometimes it's just a tree. What does the tree say? And we can learn from what each one, why is this saying that? It means it's part of the song of creation. It's part of what each one's role is, because it represents us. It's a mirror image of the spiritual world. And we're trying to see, oh, there's such a thing as frogs and butterfly and dragonfly in the spiritual world. Maybe there represents angels' special mission in the spiritual world. And one of the way we can look at all the animals here in this world is because they correspond to angels in the spiritual world. We know there's angels that look like eagles and like lions. So it's like you have a jungle there, a jungle of angels. And that jungle of angels, really, here we can learn how Hashem runs the jungle here. That's the king of the jungle. So it's the highest angels, right? Archangels, whatever. And all this is here to give us an idea of how incredible the spiritual world is. But most people don't look at this world and use it to imagine really what's happening there and learn from it. Likewise, when going to sleep, think that your mental faculties go to the Holy One, blessed be He, and will be strengthened for the divine service. So you're going to sleep. Why am I going to sleep? I'm going to sleep to be reconnected to the source, to go into my own source, to get which is a powerful soul that is meant to change the world and do its mission. And when I wake up, I understand that all my energy, all my strength is coming from the source above, and like that, I understand I'm connecting myself to above all the time, and use that energy to do what I'm supposed to do, like just like the animals or the angels, and do my mission. Okay, let's do one or two more. Actually, a very short one, so might even be able to do three. Chapter 23. Before falling asleep, lie in dread and fear, agitated and trembling from the fear of the Creator, blessed be He. Thus you will not come to sin, as it is written. Be agitated in Tehillim, Psalm chapter 4, number 5. Be agitated and do not sin. Reflect in your hearts on your beds. Basically, it's saying that before you go to sleep, not that you should be scared. When you say fear, usually it means awe, to be awe of God. Understand that I'm going to return my soul to God. I should understand that it's a moment where I can talk to God. It's a moment where I can, according to the Arizal in the Shem Aramita, not just the Arizal, but so you're supposed to do Teshuvah and forgive everyone, and forgive yourself also, and do Teshuvah at that moment. We say Vidui, because it's just like before I die, I do Vidui, I'm returning to God, and I don't know what's going to happen, but I hope that God is going to be proud of me. So it's a time of reflection, better than to fall asleep with a Netflix movie, and being completely disconnected from my connection with God. Number 24, your thought should be directed to above, the supernal world, in service to God. Cleave unto Him and trust in Him to attain your desire. So these are a bit cryptic, although it sounds, a lot of things like that is going to sound repetitive, but each one is a kind of a little meditation. Here I wrote that this would help us achieve Tahara, The level of Tahara is one of the 10 steps to achieve Ruach HaKodesh, Dvekus, in order to, in the Mesilas Yesharim, based on the Gemara, Avodah Zarah. And the goal is if Tahara is a level where your Tahara, Tuma, Tame is a blockage. Tahara is when there's a constant flow. You're constantly connected. So Tahara pure is means I'm wired and I feel the connection all the time. And basically saying that you should constantly feel that you're connected to God, right? It's connected to the 6 constant mitzvahs, that every second that I can do 6 constant mitzvahs. Right now, I can just think, I know there's a God. I'm learning about God. I know He's here. I feel His presence. I feel that He wants to teach me. I want to know Him. That's why I live. The reason I'm teaching now is because I want to know God. So by doing the 6 constant mitzvahs all the time and thinking of them, right? They are to know there is a God. There's no other power than God. That God is one. To love Him, to be in awe of Him, and not to go after your heart and eyes desires, which has to do with thoughts that are not proper and desire that are not proper. Lust and kfira, mostly. So those are the 6 constant mitzvot, and out of the 613 mitzvot, there's 6 you're supposed to do all the time. And when you do the 6 all the time, you reach that level of the 7, what I call the 7th stage or level, which is Shivisi Hashem Megdi Tamid. It's not me who said it, it's basically the Chofetz Chaim. So that's how you achieve it. Shivisi Hashem Megdi Tamid. So when you do that and you live with God, you understand that I'm literally walking with God hands in hands wherever I go, right? When I sit at the table to eat, I'm sitting with God. When I'm walking in the street, I'm walking next to God. When I'm, hugging my spouse or my best friend or my parents, part of it is I'm hugging God. So we have to understand that God is with you all the time, but you have to create that reality. You're allowed to use imagination to create that reality, right? Obviously, God is not physical. God is not even emotional. God is not even spiritual, because God is beyond. We don't know what God is. God is Ein Sof, is beyond any understanding. God is not a sphere. God is not connected to. Is not His essence. Is beyond all that. So. But through everything is like an interface, a way to connect. It's a wireless connection to God Himself, and therefore we can use all that, where to go. Is we give, so like we go in the virtual room, like the meta world, and you have those how is it called? I forgot. TMF. And MFL, I forgot, those avatar type of figure that represents you, and you're hugging someone in the meta world. It's like as if we're actually hugging the other, but it's happening virtually. So that's basically what we're doing with Hashem. I'm hugging my mother, but I'm hugging Ima, Ilah, my mother, God, because God is also my mother, because He gave birth, He created me, gave birth to me. So the source of it comes to Hashem. It's like Menachem Av, right? We have now Tisha B'Av, and we have the month of Av. Hashem is my Father. Av Rachaman, Av Rachamim. That we're gonna start praying a lot with Elul. So we understand Hashem is also my Father, and so when I hug my Father here, it's an experience of hugging Hashem. When I go pray, and I connect to the feeling of hugging my father, my mother, or someone that truly loves me, and I understand that this is an experience of hugging Hashem who loves me, because we have to use this world to connect as an interface, and that's how we know God really loves us, because whatever source of love you have during the day, right? Sometimes we get angry, say Hashem doesn't love me, Hashem punished me, Hashem, I have a lot of pain, suffering. Yeah, but don't you have a daughter? Don't you have a mother? Don't you have a father? Don't you have a best friend? Don't you have a child? And they love you? oh, so you are receiving love. And who do you think that sent those or created those, and that those people that give you that love, that source of love? Well, it's Hashem. So yeah, we might see that there are people hurting us, and we say, oh, why is Hashem hurting me? Yeah, but what about all the times where you have people, all the people that actually love you? So why do you focus only on the negative and not the positive? So then you realize really that you have a lot of love. So that's cleave unto him. So we can attach to him and trust in him to attain your desire, your ratzon. Yeah, so he brings because he's going to speak about it, the famous concept about Shem Tov. That's one in the notes. Is the concept that man's thought is to concentrate on the spiritual reality on high. Is based on the principle that thought is man's very being. Thus, you are where your thoughts is, right? So if I think I'm with God and I'm hugging God, then you are connecting the spiritual world and hugging God, so to speak. So that's the Baal Shem Tov used to surround himself. He had the meditation before he will learn or pray. He will meditate and say, I am now surrounding myself with the Gan Eden. I am in Gan Eden, surrounded by all the angels and creatures that God created in the spiritual world. And he will learn in Gan Eden and be in Gan Eden. Because in Gan Eden, you can speak to God. But God speaks to Adam in Gan Eden, right? With the voice, the call. So that's where you should be. You can try to be meditate on being right now in Gan Eden. And then you're with Hashem. And then everything that happens is Hashem talking to you. Pretty cool high meditation. Okay, one more, very short. The following is an important principle. Remain all day with a thought with which you rose from your bed and no other thought. Whoa, that's intense, right? So I connected also to Tara, but basically saying he said this requires though that one's first thought be attached to holiness, because the first thing you think of is doing an avera. It ain't good. So try to wake up in the morning, and maybe one should have Yud-K, Vav-K sign somewhere, or although sometimes the prayer in the bedroom because you can be naked in front of that sign, or so. But you can have maybe some quotes next to you, and the first thing you wake up in the morning is like, "If do es Hashem b'simcha." Oh, so my whole day, I'm the focus. This is my thing of the day. And tomorrow, you know what it's going to be? It's going to be zrizut. Run, whatever you do, run to Hashem. So everything you do, you run to Hashem. Or today is a day of happiness. I'm going to receive every person with a smiley face. Why don't we all smile all the time? People smile back at you. It gives joy. So just smile all day. It says, I'm going to smile. I'm going to shine, because when you smile, there's light coming out of you. It's positive. So my whole day is going to be a smiley day, being radiating positivity. You wake up, you say, Olam chesed ibale. Thank you, Hashem, for giving life. I want to give life to others. Chesed. And your whole day is about, what can I give? Some tzedakah, some help, some love, some food, whatever. You give a smile, you give a mitzvah to Hashem, you give a prayer. So all these are things that about Shem Tov can be a very powerful way, a powerful way to impact your day because we know everything, but everything goes, I forgot the expression, everything goes after the reshis, after the beginning. Everything, right. Sof Maaseh Mashava Tchila. The last action should be connected to the first thought. If everything is connected, and therefore I wake up in the morning, I want to change the world. This is my mission. So when I die, or when I go to sleep at night, this did I change my world? Did I accomplish my mission? This is what we want to be able to reach. So this way, it reminds us, it constantly of our mission and of being productive. All right, holy friends, thank you so much for, tasting the Hasidus of the Baal Shem Tov with me. And God willing, we shall continue next time with more exciting tools on how to be constantly connected to Hashem, because ultimately that's what he wants. He's crazy in love with us, and he wants us just to fall in love with him, to rise in love with him more and more every day. So thanks to the Baal Shem Tov, it helps us a lot. All right, thank you everyone, and wish you all an awesome week connected to Hashem all the time. Bye.